An example might help us understand what are the forms, what these forms are, this theory of ideas or theory of forms. What are these things that are going to be the ultimate basis of reality for Plato? These are the basic components of reality, of his metaphysics. Well, consider a round object, for example, a circle. Or we might be considering the concept of roundness. Well, first of all, we have a name. That is, we have something that we call it. We have a word in English, circle, right? It's a word in English that we used to talk about these, whatever this circle thing is, right? Then we should have a definition for it. In fact, this should get you thinking about Socrates in the earlier dialogues. Remember when he was trying to find out what the virtues were, or even at the beginning of the Republic, said the same thing. When he's looking for the definition of justice, when he's looking for justice, what he's looking for is a definition. Now, in the case of circle, it's a geometrical concept, so we can easily give it a definition. That is, X is a circle means X is a closed plane figure, as in a geometrical figure, whose limit is every point equidistant from the center. And if you have problems with that, take my word for it. That's just the definition of circle in geometry. And you've come across it, I think, before in your life, that is just the definition. But so there's some relationship between forms and definitions. Then we have something else that's the image of the circle. Take a look. Here's kind of an image of a circle, a picture of a circle. So far we haven't gotten to the circle. We got a word that we call it. We got a definition of what it is. That is a Socratic definition, what the thing itself is. Then we have a picture of one, an image of one. Now the other thing that we have is stuff that goes on in our heads, right? I have knowledge, understanding, sometimes you might say true opinion of a circle. That is, there's my concept of the circle, the one that's sitting in between my two ears. Okay, so far, none of these things, they're pointing towards a form, but these things are not the form. The word isn't the form, the definition isn't the form, the image, or a particular image isn't the form, and even the concept in my head isn't the form. But rather, the form is the real circle. And it has to be sort of postulated, sort of assumed to exist. That is, when you and I are thinking about the circle, we're thinking about the circle itself. So the idea is we're thinking about this universal idea, this form of circle, or you might call it circularity. And that's why when we're thinking about a circle, we're thinking about the same things, because our two ideas are ideas of this same universal. That's what makes it a circle. That's what makes it an idea of a circle, is that it is somehow related to this, you might call it, we sometimes use these words, abstract entity. It's not a physical thing in the world. And it's not something in somebody's mind, but it's, and for a lack of better term, we can say Platonic heaven. That's where these forms, that's where circle exists. And the interesting thing for Plato is there are other kinds of objects for which there are these forms, these ideas. If we're talking geometry, straight is another form. Colors, redness. But then we hit a couple, the terms of value, the virtues, good, or another term of value, beautiful, beauty, justice, virtue, courage, tall also, relation. These we all have forms for. That is, all of these universals that we attribute to a lot of things have corresponding forms.